There are, a few places that are synonymous with some icons. You got Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, Statue of Liberty in New York City. Here in the Roanoke region of Virginia's Blue Ridge, we have McAfee Knob.
They're not the rich and famous. Their profit comes not from the thing they sell, but the good they do. Our nation has more than 1.5 million nonprofits that employ 1 out of 10 Americans, providing services that otherwise go unfulfilled, keeping our community connected when all else fails. But nonprofits often lack the tools to properly promote themselves, to inspire more donors and volunteers and clients to their cause. That's where I come in. I've been in the nonprofit world for nearly 20 years. I connect nonprofits with marketing professionals who donate their time and expertise so that, at the end of the day, these life-giving organizations can do more, do better, by creating more, that's right, buzz. You will not find a more photographed spot on the Appalachian Trail than McAfee Knob near Roanoke, Virginia. Each year, nearly 50,000 people from around the world trek to the overlook for the scenic, sought-after shot. As perilous as McAfee Knob appears to be, what's really dangerous is 3.5 miles down the trail, where hikers have to park their cars and then cross busy Highway Virginia 311 to reach the trailhead. Thankfully, there's a passionate group of citizens from federal, state, and local governments and nonprofits whose years-long work is now coming to fruition to solve this potentially fatal problem. On today's episode, we are buzzing about their partnership and, in our own way, surveying the landscape to provide some marketing buzz of our own.
My name is Pete Eshelman, and I'm the director of the Roanoke Outside Foundation, which is an initiative, it's a nonprofit arm of the Roanoke Regional Partnership, and which is an initiative to leverage our natural assets to attract business investment and talent to the Roanoke region and Virginia's Blue Ridge.
I'm Catherine Hernan-Powell. I'm a regional manager for Central Virginia with the Appalachian Trail Conservancy.
My name's Amanda McGee. I am a senior planner at the Roanoke Valley Allegheny Regional Commission.
I am Paula Binke. I am a transit planner with Roanoke County's Planning Department.
The Appalachian Trail Conservancy works nationally to protect and preserve the Appalachian Trail, and we work closely in partnership with the local trail clubs who are out there doing the day-to-day maintenance of the trail. They're really the boots on the ground, as well as our agency partners in the U.S. Forest Service and the National Park Service, and local partners like Roanoke County, all the wonderful folks around here.
Oh, I think that it's one of the crown jewels, so to speak. We have so many outdoor recreation activities, but with McAfee being one of them located here, that they can actually hike a part of the Appalachian Trail. It truly is a regional jewel.
Yeah, I went to Hollins University. So I'm originally from North Carolina, but that's when I first came to the Roanoke Valley, was as a student, and I didn't have a car, so I could only go hiking when I had friends who were going and could give me a ride. But I always wanted to go to school in the mountains, and that was just really, we mostly went to either Dragon's Tooth or McAfee Knob when we could get out there in the spring and in the fall, and it just every time blew the top of my head off.
Yeah, the view at the top is just phenomenal, as I think is well documented. And if you do it as this overnight up the back kind of situation, you can get up early enough that you beat the crowds and you just have that whole plateau almost to yourself, and it's just a really lovely experience.
We used to just sit there and dangle our feet off the edge and eat lunch, and I don't know why I always brought Oreos. Maybe they were easy to come by in the school cafeteria or something. But just that openness and that space and the excitement as you kind of break out into the edge of the rock from the woods. I try to remember that now when I get really bogged down in all the kind of administrative details and and some of the things that can be challenging about working in such a high use area that for a lot of the visitors it is their very first time discovering it, and we want to keep that same experience for them, and that's really what drives me.
always say that we used to take the beauty of where we live, the mountains, the lakes, the rivers, and we treated them like wallpaper. You know, they're nice to look at, but that's where it ended. You know, what we've been able to do over the past 15 years is become intentional with these, be able to curate them and leverage them into tools for economic growth. And at the center of that is the Appalachian Trail and McAfee Knob, because it is so iconic. It's a bucket list hike. You know, it's on everybody's list that they have to hike. Again, we're really fortunate to have the Appalachian Trail running through here, so it's easy access for people to get out there and be on this iconic, you know, hike. And the centerpiece of that is McAfee Knob. And it's over the course of the years, you know, you've seen it at the parking lot, we've seen it everywhere. It is a beloved hike that we're on the fringe of loving it to death. You know, because everybody's here, we're coming to town, what should we do? Oh, you gotta go hike McAfee Knob, and now you gotta go hike and get the sunrise in there. People are proposing, you know, on McAfee Knob. So it's become this centerpiece for Virginia's Blue Ridge.
But McAfee Knob's popularity has come at a cost.
I don't think I am saying anything controversial to say that we have seen over the past several years just increased pressure at this location from just the sheer amount of people who are visiting this site, because it's so amazing. It's such an amazing place to visit, but what that means is that we really have to change how we think about it, because there are so many more people coming to this spot. We really have to change how we think about the infrastructure that's in place to serve those people.
Well, I think if you've been up to the trailhead at any point in time, you would notice that, you know, individuals are crossing Route 311 to actually start their journey, which is, you know, very, very scary and can be, you know, detrimental. But so with the pedestrian bridge that's going to be already in construction and hopefully finished later this year in 2024, it will provide a safe passage to start their hike as opposed to crossing over Route 311 as it is now.
Where I think our partnership really shone was when VDOT put the proposal together. You know, they did an amazing job coming up with a design and a budget and everything for the pedestrian bridge. When we put the call out, VDOT put the call, everybody put the call out for letters of support. There's an unprecedented number. I mean, every organization in the valley that had anything to do with, I mean, City of Roanoke, Roanoke County, the Roanoke Outside, obviously the Roanoke Appalachian Trail Club and Appalachian Trail Conservancy, and all sorts of groups just all spoke up and wrote letters right away to say, you know, please fund this. And it's a very large project for VDOT to be a pedestrian project. You know, of course, most of the funds for VDOT projects go to things in the roadway. So it really came from an unprecedented amount of local support and a really broad partnership supporting it.
But how to accommodate the thousands of visitors coming to our region to hike McAfee without a parking lot? The partnership came together and in 2022 created a shuttle service from the nearby interstate park and ride to run on weekends.
It's called the McAfee Shuttle. I think you can go to McAfeeShuttle.com and you can learn about that. And that's a way of alleviating the car's impact in the trailhead for McAfee Knob, because there is limited parking. Actually, the main parking lot is closed during the construction, so there's very little parking up there. So utilizing the shuttle service, which will take you to McAfee Knob, it'll take you to Salem, it'll take you all the way to Dragon's Tooth as well. So there's a lot of options for people if they are going to go experience McAfee Knob or Dragon's Tooth.
And then all of our marketing entities in the area, Roanoke Outside, Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge, have worked so hard to really spread the word about the shuttle. So it's very much been a team effort.
One of the things that we heard a lot of right in the inaugural season was section hikers, through hikers, they needed to get to resources. So they needed to get to town to find, you know, where can I replenish what was in my backpack, that when will be the next time I'll be able to stop and have that opportunity. So I think that was something that we didn't even expect. We were just thinking we were going to get people up there to hike, not thinking about the folks coming off the trail. So it's been a real, I think, benefit for those folks as well.
Catherine Herndon Powell hopes the project inspires other changes than just a pedestrian bridge.
So I also hope that through this increase in attention to the McAfee Knob area and the issues that we deal with there, people will learn about the Roanoke Appalachian Trail Club and opportunities to volunteer. Because I think a lot of folks don't realize that such a special, beloved place that gets so many visitors is really cared for by a very small group of people. And they're dedicated, they're fun folks to hang out with, they work really hard and do a great job, and the Roanoke Appalachian Trail Club can always use more help.
You know, we've seen the interest in McAfee Knob that, you know, over 50,000 people visit it every year. It's the most photographed spot on the Appalachian Trail. And I think that desire is going to continue to grow to want to visit our region, and we're so lucky to live here every day.
One of the great things about where we live is that as iconic and wonderful as McAfee Knob is, it is only one of dozens and dozens of beautiful hikes, beautiful views, amazing trails that we have in this region.
The McAfee Knob is on everybody's bucket list, and they should. At some point, everybody should hike the McAfee Knob. But the thing people need to realize is that we have over 1,000 miles of hiking trail within an hour radius of downtown Roanoke. So there are a tremendous amount of choices out there for people to go and find the trail less hiked, you know, and it's really easy to do with all these choices out there. So while the pedestrian bridge is being built across 311, we're encouraging people to get out there and discover these new hikes that are hidden right here in their own backyard.
With all the kind of headaches that can come with this closed parking lot, the shuttle is an awesome option, but it's only running 3 days a week. And if you want a hike where you can just drive right to the parking lot, there's so many options. So maybe this is the year to give McAfee Knob a little bit of a rest and go explore and see some of the other really cool places in the area. It'll still be there and better than ever when you come back.
It seemed like there was already a lot of marketing for the shuttle service, so I invited my friends Carrie Cousins and Matt Brown from LeadPoint Digital to take a hike with me to McAfee to talk about some marketing buzz we could create for the region's other spectacular hikes.
So my name's Amory. I am from Bedminster, New Jersey, and I graduated from Roanoke in 2020. So I'm here for Alumni Weekend. It's my second time hiking this trail. It's just, I went to college here, I was so happy here, and like I love the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's just, you can't see it anywhere else. So I love going to McAfee's Knob, and like it's just, the view is breathtaking. So it's a very cute shuttle, really nice, a blue color. We were almost late, but the guy was really nice, and it was only the three of us on the bus. So we just drove up, and the view was so nice on the drive up. So right after this, we're gonna call him and go downtown and eat.
Well, my trail name is Scani, and I live in South Carolina, but I'm originally from Wisconsin, which is how I got that name. I'm walking something called the Virginia's Triple Crown Loop, which started over there at the Andy Payne Trailhead and went along the top of North Mountain that you can see in the background, and then came down at Dragon's Tooth, and now I'm hiking back up on the Appalachian Trail, and I go through three destinations: Dragon's Tooth and McAfee Knob and Tinker Cliffs. And then I'm looking forward to getting back to my car where I've got a 10-gallon jug of water sitting. It's been kind of hot out here, and I'm drinking, I don't know, 4 or 5 liters of water a day. Oh, I've never been here before. This is the first time I've ever been in this whole area. I have backpacked in the North Carolina mountains, the Blue Ridge and the Nantahala Range there.
So, you know, when we're talking about McAfee, what I was really thinking is maybe encourage people to do something off McAfee.
Yeah, to explore all the other trails throughout the region, to kind of, you know, take advantage of this time to not make McAfee your number one, but go to find a number 2 somewhere else.
So one of the things we should really incorporate is waterfalls into the hikes, because that's one of the most popular hike types, is getting out and seeing a natural waterfall.
I agree, and especially throughout the summer months, that makes it a nice, kind of like a fun, cool way to end a hike or have a destination for it as well.
And that's a great campaign to engage people who live here so that people coming out of town have more opportunity to hop on the shuttle and use that way to get up the mountain.
Exactly, and that way we don't run the risk of the fact of the shuttle being overloaded and creating like bottlenecks and wait time for stuff if they're going other places to explore other venues.
And we've got a ton of great hikes available, from long, more strenuous hikes to some shorter options, that if we create a campaign that mixes them up, It makes hiking not only more accessible for everybody in our region, but gives them some options whether they want to go alone, spend a day, go with a kid. No matter what they want to do, we'll have an option for them.
Yeah, and if we make it fun, then it becomes its own adventure.
I love that.
Yeah.
While LeadPoint Digital started its trek to promote the region's other great hikes, I took the opportunity to meet some other players in this McAfee partnership.
My name is Ed Clark, and I'm the superintendent of the Appalachian National Scenic Trail and work for the National Park Service. Yeah, well, we're celebrating and recognizing a really great partnership between Roanoke Valley and the surrounding communities and the National Park Service and several other different nonprofit organizations that provide shuttle access from down here in town up to has been in the last little bit just to McAfee Knob, the parking area there, but it's expanding this year to get out to Dragon's Tooth. Well, the National Park Service has a long history of working with partners, both in terms of the development and taking care of the resources and serving the visitors who come to our nation's national parks. It's really a part of our founding. But today, we really depend upon a lot of our partners to help us do a variety of things. You know, there are things that are inherently government, but there's a lot of places where, whether it's through volunteerism, advocacy, or philanthropic support, these nonprofit organizations can bring an awful lot of capacity that helps the National Park Service do its job just that much better and work to preserve the resources and to make the visitors feel more welcome and better informed about why and what they're there for. There's so many different trail clubs up and down the Appalachian Trail, and the Roanoke Appalachian Trail Club certainly is one of the a very active unit working with the Appalachian Trail Conservancy to highlight some of the needs and opportunities and really help us bridge the gap. Being through 14 states, 2,200 miles long, that's a lot to keep up with. So oftentimes it's these local clubs and the Appalachian Trail Conservancy that helps us connect better with local communities. And that certainly is on great display here today in Roanoke. What makes this partnership so special is the amount of interaction from our local governments, where the different entities have come together and work towards finding solutions. Oftentimes, particularly in places in the National Park Service that are very popular, they can sometimes be overwhelmed, the infrastructure and just everything that's there. And Roanoke County really has stepped up in terms of working with us to identify those problems and find solutions.
I'm Brett Randolph. I'm the Department of Transportation in Virginia. I'm the Assistant District Traffic Engineer for the Roanoke and New River Valleys. And this project has been going on for about 6-7 years at this point. We applied for a federal safety grant through the Federal Highway Safety Administration in October 2016 and started a steering committee with a bunch of the local partners in May of 2017. We've had over 30 meetings, partnering meetings with those groups, stakeholders including Roanoke County, National Park Service, Appalachian Trail Conservancy, of course VDOT, and Roanoke Appalachian Trail Club, amongst others. There's a lot of entities that have really put their expertise and their sort of knowledge of the area into use for how we've developed this project up to this point. The trail crossing over here to our right is a pretty dangerous crossing as far as how people can try to get across. They almost have to use their sense of hearing more than their sense of eyesight because of how quickly somebody can come around the curve or up the hill here from the bottom of the mountain. It's a very heavily used trail, as everybody knows, and obviously with the issues that we have with concerns about pedestrian safety, it's really imperative that we went through with this project to build this bridge over top of Route 311. There's a lot of different entities involved in the project simply because there's different ownership responsibilities for the area. VDOT obviously owns and maintains the roadway. The National Park Service owns and maintains land around it. The Appalachian Trail Conservancy also has purchased some land down here where their parking currently is at, and the house used to be there. They purchased that house several years ago and raised that property. Roanoke County is obviously operating the shuttle service, the recreational shuttle service that was developed out of our committee. They are a huge partner in how they want this to be seen as far as a gateway to the area, as well as the Park Service and the ATC have that same sort of vision. So it's important that we brought all these parties into the project early, because during the project design, a typical VDOT design wouldn't necessarily have this many partners. and we may not build it the way that ultimately they want it. The Park Service has their vision for sort of this bridge settling into the natural beauty and rustic nature of the area around it. And VDOT wants to go build a weathering steel bridge and get out of Dodge. So it was really important that we brought those partners in here to balance the aesthetics with the natural beauty of the area.
So, but just in this project, 3 nonprofits, federal dollars, 2 state agencies, County of Roanoke, Virginia Tech has had a hand in it, but the nonprofit role is really important, particularly in the Appalachian Trail. The whole way the Appalachian Trail is managed is the Appalachian Trail Conservancy is sort of an umbrella organization that includes all of the trail maintenance clubs like the Roanoke Appalachian Trail Club, and there's, how many are there, like 15 across the length? 31 across the length of the whole AT, and they all sign up for a stretch and they do maintenance, and some run cabins and other operations. The AT wouldn't exist. It wouldn't exist without nonprofits. I mean, the whole idea of it and the construction of it was much more nonprofit, and then it kind of became part of the Park Service later. We're sort of in the midst of celebrating the Appalachian Trail Centennial. The idea was 1921. It was completed in 1937, so we're kind of in that window where we're celebrating the centennial, but the whole thing wouldn't have happened without nonprofits. And that's often the case. That's often the case in the open space side. One of the great things about Virginia, you have the tax credit for open space preservation, but somebody has to hold on to the tax credit. It's almost always a land trust or another nonprofit that holds the easement to make sure that the land's protected forever.
Well, we had a ton of fun working on this project, thinking about things to do to kind of keep people off of McAfee Knob this summer.
That's a good idea.
So we came up with a list of other hikes all over the region that are fun, have varying levels of difficulty. Everybody knows that McAfee is the most photographed place on the Appalachian Trail, but does anybody know where the tallest waterfall in the region is? Very good. Yeah. So we tried to put together some fun hikes that had other best, most interesting facts attached to them.
Spread people out, disperse people. Okay, cool.
And keep us hiking all over the region instead of just in one spot.
And discovering new spots.
Yes, that's the best part, right?
Yeah.
I found a few new ones along the way too. I didn't know about Buzzard Rock. That was my fun new one. So one of the highlights of this project was putting together a landing page at RoanokeOutside.com called Best Summer Hikes That Aren't McAfee Knob. That site features each of these hikes and the key feature of that hike. It also pulls together the great database you already had at RoanokeOutside.com that shows you trail maps, how long the hike is, how difficult the hike may be, and other key features of those hikes. The idea is that at the end of this, if enough people do it, we were going to turn the hikes into a card deck, and you could actually get a card deck featuring the artwork from these hikes. So we did a custom piece of artwork for each hike.
Get out.
We're creating stickers for each of the hikes that are both digital stickers that you can download if you complete the hike, and physical stickers that we're going to bring to GoFest in the fall and hand out to people who said they've done these hikes. We created some placards to put up at the public trailhead signs to let you know that this is going on and help you do your hike. And we've got the stickers, so you can actually get your little sticker card. They're made to be shared on social media. We're encouraging people to share them using the Roanoke Outside hashtag. So showcase that you're out on these other hikes. Because we know that social aspect will help people see and explore places maybe they've never been before.
If I'm hearing this is a challenge for the community, right? The idea is to go out and hike as many of these hikes as they can now through
September 1st. We want to give people enough time to be able to go out, complete all the hikes, but if they want to complete them all and still qualify for the reward at GoFest, we need to have time to be able to gather that information and then give it to them and have it ready at GoFest. So we've put a deadline for this of September 1st of this year as to when we have to have all the hikes completed in order to get the final deck of cards at the end.
So they go onto the website, RoanokeOutside.com, they find the page, best summer hikes that aren't McAfee Knob, and there's instructions there too, right? So they don't have to remember all this.
Correct.
But that's where they enter their information, that's where they sign up to get the the stickers sent to them and the hiking card and everything sent to them.
So we've made it really easy with all these trail cards that we'll put on the trailheads with a QR code here. They'll scan the QR code, and that QR code actually takes them to the landing page where they can record their hike. They put in, it gives them the option to select which hike they're at, and then gets a few other pieces of information. And then once they hit submit, they'll automatically have the card sent to their email. So it'll be in their inbox when they get back and done with the hike itself. And we encourage them to also go on and to share this on social media with their friends and everything else, to challenge them to complete the hikes and use the hashtag Roanoke Outside as a way to kind of market as well and track the success.
Cool. And then they can claim a prize by showing up at the Go Outside Festival in October.
Yep, absolutely.
This is awesome. It's really, really cool. And I think it's always been one of our challenges, you know, as we, you know, promote McAfee Knob being the iconic place that everybody needs to go to. We know that a byproduct is we're sending a lot of people there and we're really impacting it. And as we've done that, the recognition that, hey, we have all these incredible hikes, 13 that you're showcasing here, but all these incredible hikes that a lot of people don't know about. So how do we make it easy for them to find them, discover them? And it's one thing to know about it, but it's the other to have all the information from A to Z once you're there. So kudos, guys, kudos.
Thanks.
Terry, Matt, thank you all so much. This is spectacular, Pete. I know you're happy. You know, I see all these hikes here and I see one, Mill Mountain Star. We're so close. How about we go take a look and try this out?
Yeah.
All right, great.